It is Sunday, which means it's my weekly budget breakdown where I go through all of the money I've spent, my investments, and really how much money I brought in for this month because it's also the end of the month. So now we're going to be able to do the fun things like invest, buy some stocks. Oh, and it's been a crazy week. So we have stocks hitting all-time highs, more specifically the index funds, the ETFs I'm holding, VTI, VGT hitting all-time highs means I'm doing pretty good in my portfolio. I'm feeling really good. I'm also in the midst of moving from Buenos Aires, Argentina to this place called Pucón, Chile. And yeah, I'm selling everything, going crazy. My wife and I did this a few years ago and we went to Brazil for 6 months and came back much sooner than anticipated. But it's just been a crazy ride, and right now I'm actually staying at my in-laws' house until later on this week. So whenever there's some craziness, it's hard to stay on top of our budgets. It's hard to keep track of all of our dollars, but we still got to do it, and today you're going to go through it with me. So before I get started, I want to say thanks for visiting this channel. I'm Jacob. I'm building wealth for me and my family. I have $640,000. I'm 28 years old, and I'm debt-free. I'm trying to get to $1 million by the time I'm 32. And this budgeting series that I created is a huge part of what I believe is everyone's grind of getting to be wealthy, because if we're not keeping track of all of the money that's coming in and out of our possession, then we are never going to be able to handle having $1 million or $2 or $3 million. We need to keep track of everything. So let's get started. Here's the rules. I'm living on a $60,000 income right now. So that's $5,000 a month. I'm spending $1,000 a month for groceries. I'm spending $348 a month on just like once going out with my friends and stuff like that. And then $668 a month on my expenses. That leaves me with $1,200 to pay for rent. I'm also saving $1,000 a month for travel. And then I'm also investing $784 a month. So today's a fun day because we're at the end of the month and we're actually going to be able to see how I did, not just this past week, but the whole entire month. And let me tell you, it's not been good. I'm in this transition period right now. As I said, I'm moving. It's tough. It's a struggle, but I think that this is going to show you this is just how real life is. We still got to do our best though. So jumping into last week, we have 6/22, June 22nd through June 28th. There's actually 2 days left in the month, but I'm just going to throw those into July. I've already got paid for the month this month, so I don't really care. Okay, so I'm trying to spend that $250 a week, $1,000 a month. I got to $241.81. That's $991.80 for the month, so it looks good. My wants look good because I'm only spending $87 a week, which is $348 a month. That's $64. And then my expenses are way over. I'm at $893 for the month so far. And last week, it looks like I spent $150. I don't have everything up to date. I've been unpacking stuff, moving stuff throughout the house, people coming and picking things up and everything. And like I said, I'm actually staying right now at my in-laws' house. Let me show you. Here I am in here, and there's 4 of us. It's a 2-bedroom house here in Buenos Aires, and actually my wife's grandma's visiting back there also. But yeah, so there's 4 of us living in here, and it's crazy because they've been actually taking a lot of the stuff that we had from our house. So like in this hallway, we have a couch. And coming to the living room here, there's a table stacked on top of a table because we gave them our old kitchen living room table, our kitchen table, and they're going to be using that instead of their old one. The couch has chairs on it because this couch is taking the place of this other couch that's back there. And yeah, so it's just crazy in here, and life's been pretty crazy lately. So trying to stay up on this budget, that's it. And this is pretty much the entire house too. So all 4 of us in here. Kitchen, living room was over there, bathroom, and then we're sitting in this bedroom. This is my wife's old bedroom. It's a single bed, and then I sleep on a rollout mattress right here. That's it. This is it. You can tell it's a mess in here too. You got all the luggage, you got everything. Oh. So no, I'm not on budget this week. I have all of this stuff that I have to still update and get over here into their respective kind of orders. So let's do that really quick. I got this friend, Guada. It was her birthday. I spent $40 on this sweatshirt for her. She loved it, so it's totally worth it. I got to put that over in my wants. That was $40 for her. I also spent $10 for the package to be delivered to my house via Uber, so that's actually $50. I can get rid of this. And then I got this buddy named Ken. He's this old expat guy. I spent $28.29 just drinking wines over at his house. Then I ended up getting some more beer afterwards. We're just kind of like walking around downtown, drinking, hanging out, doing stuff. And this is also one of those struggles with moving, is that I feel like I can't say no to making plans with people because I don't know when I'm going to see them again. I'm at least going to be gone until next year. Maybe I'll come back to Argentina after that, but I just don't know. And so normally I can say no, I'm out of budget, I don't have money or whatever, but now that I'm with my friends and they're like, oh, you're leaving next week, Jacob, come do plans. I'm like, okay, I'll go excuse me. I'm like, I'll go do it. So yeah, here's $28.29 with Ken Wines going out with him. Let's see here. I also had to take the train. Train $1, and then I had to buy some trash bags. I could even put these over in groceries, so maybe we can add this to my $11.20 up here, or my $143. Here we go, plus 3. Then I had to buy some eggs. Okay, I'll just add that up here to my groceries too. You can see it's just been absolutely crazy. Beer, $14.32. All right, let's just put on this beer, $14.32. All right, can get that. My wife had a prescription that she had to get filled. This would probably go over here in these expenses. Wife's prescription, let's do that, $38.62. Ground beef, $3.08 here. I'll put that up here too. And this grocery adage, and then some chipas, which is some bread essentially. I'll put this over here in these once because they were not necessary at all. It's just like some grilled bread. Okay, so here we are. Now we're getting to the meat of all of it for this week, and then we're going to get our entire month's numbers in. So for the week, I spent essentially $249.89 on the groceries. That actually came in pretty good. My wants, I spent $163, and they should be $87. And then my expenses, I spent $188. That should be $167. It should be $668 for the month, and it's at $932 for the month. But I'm not too worried about these expenses because, again, with me moving, I'm not going to be spending a lot of money on some things like going to the psychologist and stuff. We'll actually go through and take that out to show you like where I think my upcoming expenses will be for next month as I budget out next month. So this was the month's final ending number. I wanted to have $1,000 spent for the month on groceries. I spent $9.99. I wanted to spend $348 for my wants. I spent $418. Pretty good, honestly. Like it could have been worse. I wanted to spend $668 on my expenses. I spent $932. So I definitely have some upcoming just corrections to make there. My rent was already prepaid because now I moved out. I paid for my rent months and months and months ago, and I still need to see how much I can invest. Another thing is I'm also going to be saving money on this travel side of things because while I am traveling, I'm driving to Chile. I've actually been wanting to save up money for travel, specifically for going to Mexico at the end of the year, which I'm no longer going to be doing. And so this travel budget is kind of like a savings budget, and I don't believe in saving unless you actually have something you're saving specifically for. So kind of saving for the unknown, that's investing, and saving for the known, that's saving. So I don't have any known stuff coming up that I'm planning on spending money on, so I'm doing good. I want to actually have a lot more money to invest now because I don't have any savings coming up. So let's plug all of these numbers in to my monthly budget, which I have created over here. So for June, I have my total salaries or kind of income that should have been brought in. I'll fill that in a second. I'll also have what we end up including to all the investments. I'll fill that in a second. So travel leisure, we have 0 spent there. That's great. That's going to give us a green box. For my expenses, we spent the $932.03. Not doing too good there, but we'll get this corrected. Let's put that in with the red box. And then moving on from there, we have the groceries where I spent $900 and $99.88 this month. So 999.88, pretty good. I mean, I'm on budget on that, so that's good. That's a green box. And lastly, I got my wants, which is $348, and I wanted to spend. That's what I wanted to spend. I spent a total of $418.94. So have some work to do coming up next month, but overall, it was still a great month, and I'll show you why. So when I go into my salaries, or kind of like what the income, I'm expecting $5,000 a month, but I got a little bit more this month. So I actually ended up getting paid. Our household income was $5,568, so $568 more than we were anticipating. I already had an existing $448 in my bank account, so that's still there. And then I redeemed all my credit card points my credit card points for cash. So in my total bank account, I now have $6,485. I have an upcoming $30 credit card bill, but that's it. And looking into then what I have for next month, I'm really asking myself, what do I have left over so I can invest? And this is what I care the most about. So for my entire salaries for my June period, I'm going to put this $6,485. All right, and give it a green box. We're ahead of 5,000. And now I can start to calculate how much money do I need next month. So I have $6,485. That's how much that I have in cash right now in my bank account. Next month, I know I'm going to spend $1,000 on groceries. I know I'm going to also spend on expenses. I have $932, but I think it's going to be a lot less, because if I go through on this expenses list and I start to look at all the things that I won't have next month because I'm moving, for example, I won't have my psychologist anymore. Maria, this is what I have. This is my maid. I'm not going to have her anymore either. I'm also not going to have, well, there she is, my maid. Here's my maid and psychologist put together. Here's my psychologist. Here's my maid. Oh, wait, there she is. Get rid of her. My wife isn't going to psychology anymore either. She's not going to her therapist. I can get rid of her again. And the maid, there's another 20, another 20. There we go. So getting rid of my maid, just my maid and my psychologist out of my life, cut this down from like $900 and something to $412. So this is why I'm like, this month has been crazy. I know that I've been wanting to only spend $668 on my expenses. I know that I was up over $300. I also had just some stupid stuff to buy. Like I had to put these little tire capsule things on my car for the air pressure so the air doesn't leak out. I don't even know. But this is all kind of in preparation for me to be moving. And these are things I'm not expecting to be spending money on again. So whenever I look at this $412, I don't expect my expenses to be that low, because this month I also had some prepaid insurance that now I have to start paying for next week or next month. So I am going to budget maybe a little higher. Maybe I'm going to say, just so I have the cash, I'm going to set aside $800 next month for expenses just to have it. I don't want to spend it, but I also would rather have it in my bank account than not spend it. So I'm going to spend $1,000 on groceries. I'm going to spend $800 on my expenses, and on my wants, I have $348 for the month. I'm going to try to hold myself to that as best as I possibly can. And then if I subtract, or if I add up all of these things, $2,148. That's how much I'll be spending on the groceries, my wants, and my expenses. And I subtract that from my total salary, that gives me $4,337 left over. That's how much I could invest right now, adding on to everything that I already have in my investments. Now, I will say, because I'm still kind of up in the air on some stuff, like I haven't quite moved yet. I move next week. I haven't moved yet, but I'm going to be moving. I'm going to have some other expenses, and I'm still trying to get a feel for this budget. I just lost my job back in April, where my wife and I were bringing in $170,000 a year. Now we're down to $60,000, so I'm really still just getting a good feel for this. I feel happy, though, about everything like that I have. Oh, I need to include the rent because I also said my rent was prepaid, but next month I'm going to have to start paying for my rent. I have a charge of $1,199.73. I know I'm going to have that charge. It's how much my Airbnb is. So 1,199.73. So I'll add that on here too on the sum. So let's put this back. Equals sum of, here it is. And this. All right, $3,347, how much I'm going to have to spend next month. If I subtract that, my income minus this 3,347, I'm at 3,137 cents. That's how much I could be investing right now, next week, Monday. Market opens Monday, I could put that money in. I'm not going to, only because, as I mentioned, I'm still getting a feel for everything. So my goal this month was to only be able to invest $784. I feel like I'm doing really good by being able to have $3,100 still being able to be invested. I'm going to give myself another buffer of $500. I'm only going to invest $2,500 this month, and that'll give me like $637 in my bank account just to sit there, just to be safe. I'm still figuring all this stuff out. So I have $2,500 to invest right now, and I want to show you where exactly I'm at on my investments. So I have a total of $659,000. Again, the market was hitting all-time highs this week. My portfolio hit all-time highs, $659,000. I feel great. Really, I feel great, right? And now I'm going to be able to add in another $2,500 to my portfolio. So I've created some other videos where I talk about how I'm trying to have specifically a 40% and a 60% breakdown in my portfolio, 60% being VTI and 40% being VGT, Vanguard's VGT. Right now, my entire portfolio is looking like this. I have $163,000 of the S&P 500, and that's making up 24.8% of my portfolio. I was like only indexing when I first started doing this 5 years ago and saying I'm just going to buy S&P 500. That's all I'm going to buy. So I accumulated $163,000 of S&P 500. Then I started to readjust how I wanted to invest and what funds I wanted to be invested in. So I started buying VGT and VTI, and now that's all I want. So I have 44% essentially of what's the NASDAQ 100 or VGT, it's the Information Technology Fund, $292,000 of that. And then I have $203,000 of VTI. So VTI, Total Stock Market Index Fund, is taking up 30% of my portfolio. And the NASDAQ, the VGT, the Information Technology, is taking up 44% of my portfolio. What I would like is to have 60% VTI, so a far cry from the 30% it's currently at, and then 40% of VGT. So I only have $2,500 to invest, so I'm going to put that $2,500 in with my VTI. That's what I'm going to be buying on Monday whenever the market opens tomorrow. So I got the $203,000 plus the $2,500. And then I'll have a total stock portfolio breakdown of $661,000. So that's where I'll be at tomorrow. I'll now be able to start saying I'm Jacob, debt-free, 28 years old, $661,000 if I want to say that. And this is my entire breakdown. So I'm really trying to hash in and like hone in on my budget a little better. There's some blips. I know. Everyone's got an excuse. I have an excuse. The difference is I feel pretty good about where I'm at on my portfolio right now, where I can make some adjustments and kind of not miss every quota I have for myself. 348, hit that, Jacob. 1,000, hit that, Jacob. I don't feel like I have to hurt myself and make myself feel so guilty about not hitting my numbers right now, because I am sitting at $661,000 at 28 years old in a portfolio. An investment portfolio. But I still am trying to reel in my my budget. I need this to be in as close as I possibly can get it. I want it to be, I may even need to adjust these numbers to make them a little higher in the future. I'll have to see. But with the move and with all the just other chaos going on in my life right now, that's pretty much it. It's just the move. No, but also losing my job in April, still trying to figure all this stuff out. It's been tough to figure out every little thing and every little dollar, every little cent, and figure out, like, am I on budget or not? So once I get settled down, I think that this is going to be a lot better. But I guess, you know, I'm still trying to make this content and show it to you. This is real life. This is what it's like to be budgeting whenever you're still on the move, whenever you are juggling your wife, your job, you're trying to work, you're trying to move, you're trying to just juggle life. It's hard to stay on top of every dollar. Not every single day is going to work from 8 to 5, going to the gym, making dinner, doing your budget, and that's it. And I can tell you it's tough, but I'm still trying to not only keep to my budget, but keep track of everything. So you can do it, guys. I can do it. You can do it. We can all stay on our budget. Maybe some weeks we can't make our budget, but we can all stay on it and still know how much we're spending. So I hope this helped you as the week comes up. I hope you can see like that, how I'm breaking down all my numbers, how I'm still staying invested, and how I'm growing my account. Even through all this chaos, I can't even talk right now. This is crazy. Even through all of the chaos. So yeah, I really hope this out. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.